Welcome to Nitpicking Nerds in another Precon power-up.
This time, the Naya Land's Wrath Precon. For just $50, we're upgrading the deck.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, Beezy, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. Haven't heard of us? Well, you're watching us right now, and we're upgrading a Precon for only $50. And I will say, that's not $50 TCG low. That's $50 TCG market and mid. So, like, we didn't mention this for the last video, but you can get either one of these for like $20 if you really want to.
Yeah, if you want the washing machine deck. And besides, you want to be subscribed to this channel because our subscribers are 10% more animated.
Disclaimer guy here, and I'm getting kind of tired of this shtick, but, you know, they're not liable or whatever.
To shout somebody out, we did a poll talking about Disclaimer Guy, and somebody said, I'm just surprised that you guys don't blink the whole time.
Disclaimer, we blink a lot.
Years of practice. I had never blinked because I have contacts in. I recently did somebody challenged me to a staring contest, and I'm like, you're going to lose. I have contacts in. They literally keep my eyes moist. That's the whole point. Well, half the point. And they're like, whatever, and they just lost.
Who did that?
Anyway, this is a Precon power-up. We're upgrading for just $50. We're going to upgrade this Precon in, this has got a budget, newer player sense to it.
Yes. So, who's our commander? Who is this person?
Well, it's Obuun, the Mul Daya Ancestor. 1 and a Naya for a 3/3 legendary elf spirit. At the beginning of combat on your turn, up to one target land you control becomes an XX elemental creature with trample and haste until end of turn, where X is Obuun's power. It's still a land. Landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. This card is really interesting, and just like the Rogues one, there is a little bit of a disappointment I had with when reading it. I was like, oh man, it's only until end of turn. You don't get the land. It doesn't just stay.
Well, that would be weird.
That would start to stack pretty heavily. Maybe they would have to template the card differently. But anyway, the deck's game plan. How are we going to function, and how is this deck going to work? Well, we're going to power up Obuun by triggering landfall, and then attack with animating lands. It's sort of like Voltron, except the creature that we risk by attacking is just irrelevant. It's a land.
Yes, exactly. And so how are we going to win with that? Well, we're going to animate our lands real big. Get them into, like, basically just hitting for so much that they're going to be lethal lands.
Lands, plural. We're animating our lands and boosting their power to attack for lethal. It's not just Obuun's.
I said
land.
Lands.
Yeah, but Obuun only does one land. We're talking about multiple lands we can do it with.
Okay.
So getting to the actual upgrades, first thing you got to do, cut out the chaff. Get rid of it. What did we cut? Because it does not fit this deck the way we wanted to take it.
Yeah. So the first thing we cut is Elite Scale Guard. What does that one do?
Yeah, it bolsters, and whenever your +1/+1 counters creatures attack, you tap creatures. Totally irrelevant. This deck wanted to do +1 counters, landfall, animate lands. We're like, no. We want to ramp a bunch and then animate our lands. Everything else is just, we don't need it.
Yeah, you need to focus into one section. You can't go 15 different directions with a deck like they like to do with these precons. It's just, you got to focus it up into 2, maybe 3 different directions, and that's about it. Because if you start taking it 4, 5, 6 different directions, now you're spread so thin your deck does nothing.
Yeah, Geode Rager is a 6-mana 4/3 with first strike, landfall, goad all creatures target player controls. I am not interested in one single word on this card other than landfall, and then I'm disappointed when I read what it actually is. It's fine. It's like clunky for some, janky gold combat deck. Not this one. What else?
The Mending of Dominaria. It's a saga. It enters, mill 2, get back a creature, do it again. And then the last one is you get all your lands back and you shuffle in the stuff to your library.
We're not milling.
Yeah, we're not. Self-mill isn't something we're interested in, and I don't know, getting back our creatures isn't something that's super powerful for this deck.
Or lands. I mean, we want landfall, but we can't guarantee we're going to mill 2 cards and then have a land in our graveyard. Together Forever, +1/+1 counter synergy, get it out of here. Living Twister. This was close, but we just don't need to bounce tap lands. We want to animate our lands.
Yeah, Living Twister is a weird one. I don't think it's very good in EDH. Abzan Falconer, giving our +1/+1 counters guys flying.
Or trample for a Tuskar Captain. We don't care.
Yeah,
we have lands. The lands are going to be big.
Yes, exactly. We don't need our lands to have flying.
Obuun gives trample.
So now that we've cut the cards that don't fit this game plan whatsoever, now we're going to add cards that do fit our game plan so we can get going in the right direction. So the first one is Terra Eternal.
Yes, 2 and a white for all lands are indestructible. It's an enchantment. Well, we are actively risking our lands whenever we put Obuun's ability on one of them. So, or we animate them for reasons that we're going to keep secret for a while, but we're going to animate lands. We want to protect them. Doesn't matter that all lands are indestructible. What is everybody else doing?
Yeah, we want lands indestructible. It's just going to help us because there's secret reasons later.
Yeah. Incubation Druid. Well, we talked about weird +1/+1 counter synergy. This one just seems like a free roll. It's 2-mana mana dork, and when it has a counter on it, it makes 3 mana.
Yeah, if with a landfall trigger being able to put a counter, this card is super good. In counters deck, I think Incubation Druid is probably a little underrated because I don't see many people talking about it too much. However, this card is really good when you can put a counter on it without having to pay the 5.
Yeah, people are playing Gyre Sage, but they're not playing Incubation Druid. They feel similar to me.
Very similar.
Yeah, Balaged Recovery. That's our... We promised every budget deck's pretty much going to have one of these. This is enters tapped Greenland or 2 and a green, return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, these we've already talked about how budget decks are just going to love these. You're going to have tap lands anyway. Your tap land might as well be a spell also.
Cut a land for it. All right, we're not trying to win on turn 5. We're reasonably upgrading a Precon. Our starting point is the Precon, and we've got our allowance for 2 weeks, and now we're going to spend on magic cards. This is perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Sylvan Scrying, easy. This is just 1 in the green, Demonic Tutor, get a land.
You definitely have to oversell it. I want a land. Demonic Tutor? Idiots, you're going to let me cast this? And Walking Atlas, I love this card. 2 mana for a 1/1, tap, put a land from your hand into play. It's taps to ramp you. You just have to have enough lands. Spoiler alert, that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Cultivate, another great ramp card. 2 in a green, gets you 2 basics, 1 on the field, 1 in your hand. Rampant Growth, gets you a basic onto the field tapped. Explore, lets you draw a card and play an extra land from your hand.
Sakura Tribuilder, Skystraw Acclaim, just staple ramp cards. You know, there's like the last 5. You know what they do. They're just going to ramp us. They're so cheap right now. If you don't have them, pick them up for later. You're going to use them, and they're going to pay dividends. They're amazing.
Yeah, if you haven't been playing these cards, they're so good. I mean, Sakura Tribuilder and Skystraw Acclaim are absolute staples.
Right, and when we talk about our commanders, 4 mana, well, we got Sakura Tribuilder, Explore, Rampant Growth, Walking Atlas, and, Incubation Druid, all ramp our commander on turn 3.
Yeah, and also on top of that, if you play any of these after your commander's out, you're just getting extra land drops, getting extra counters.
Making bigger lands.
Exactly.
Weird how this all just works together. Improving existing cards. Now we've got cards that kind of do what we want. We don't have +1/+1 counters nonsense, but we have cards that, they have landfall or something, but they just don't quite fit. So we're going to upgrade them. The first batch, Zendikar's Royal, Emeria Angel, Spore Mound, Retreat to Emeria, and Embodiment of Insight. The first 4 of these are landfall, make a token. I don't care about any of that.
That doesn't fit the game plan. That's a token game plan type thing. If you're playing tokens, you want that. You do not need this in this deck.
Yeah, this is like landfall, tiny splash, +1/+1 counters, and then animating lands. We are not landfall tokens. That's its own thing. And Embodiment of Insight is a way to animate lands. And I thought, yeah, all right, that's okay. This card is bad, though.
Yeah, just not a good card. So, first one for improving here. Nissa, who shakes the world. Did you know this card was budget enough to be in this deck?
It's about to get more budget because it's going out of standard.
3 green legendary planeswalker Nissa enters the battlefield with 5 loyalty counters on it. Whenever you tap a forest for a mana, add an additional green. That is a static effect. It is always there while she's out. +1, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target non-creature land you control. Untap it. It becomes a 0/0 elemental with vigilance and haste. That's still a land. -8, you get an emblem with land you control have indestructible. Search your library for any number of forest cards, put them onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle your library.
I will say now that we have 17 forests out of 38 lands in this deck. So we went heavier on the forests, and we're already heavier on the green. Nissa is a ramp spell, can go the route of animating lands, optional, by the way. We don't have to do that. We can just plus her and not target anything, and goes pretty well with what we're going to be doing later. Next is Nissa World Waker, which is 3 green for a 3 loyalty Nissa. +1, target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental creature with trample. It's still a land. That's permanent. Her other +1, untap up to 4 target forests. And her -7, search your library for any number of basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. They become 4/4s with trample, and they're still lands.
My ultimate goal with this deck is to ult both Nissas.
Indestructible 4/4s. I like how once you ult the first one, the second one's ult basically doesn't do anything because there's no forest left to find.
Well, but the first one can get all the basics, and the other one can get forest, so it can get like.
Yeah, we have lands that are forests and not basics. We splurged a little bit for the lands. Awakening of V2 Gaza. You want to animate a land? Pay 5 mana at instant speed, make a 9/9. It puts 9+1/+1 counters on one of your lands, and you can do it at end step, and then just completely smash somebody after you untap and invest more resources into it. It's crazy.
This is a silly card.
Oh, no, you want a silly card.
Okay, why don't you read them the silly card?
Genju of the Cedars. I don't think. Do you know what this does at all?
Is this the like legendary enchantment that enchants a land? You can make it into a weird creature.
1 green, like green mana for an enchantment. You enchant a forest, and you pay 2, make it a 4/4, and if the land would die, you get the Genju back to your hand. This deck is going to put out a lot of extra lands, and what we're going to do instead of playing crazy X spells is just turn the extra ones that we don't need into lands with the Nissas and the Genjus and the Awaken the Vitugazis and the Obuns, and we're just going to have 2, 3, 4 giant lands that just destroy people.
I will tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to turn our lands into lands. We're going to turn them into creatures instead of lands because BZ misspoke and I owned him.
Oh no, I hate misspeaking. Darn it. How about card draw?
We cut Keeper of Fables. Well, this guy's not good. Ugh. It's not a good EDH card. It only can get 1 per turn. No, get out of here.
Also, it's 5 mana.
And also, it's 5 mana. Sandstone Oracle. What?
That's the one where you draw equal to the number of cards different in your hands.
I know what it does.
It's with green and blue are the best 2 colors of drawing cards.
Yeah, that's why I said what?
No thanks. Abundance changes. You can either choose whether you want to draw a land or a non-land. I don't really care. We don't really. That's too much investment. Instead, we want to escape to the wild, exile top 5 cards. You can play an additional land, and then you can play those cards until your next turn. That's a great card draw and ramp spell. Generous Patron. We got to put Generous Patron in a deck. What does that do?
Generous Patron. Wait. That's budget? Because I remember that we have been complaining because this is Generous Patron is a patron gift that we give away. And we've been complaining because it's been slowly creeping up in price. And we're still want to give it away because it's still a great gift to give away. But it's just creeping up there.
It's just barely. It's like, I think it was between $1 and $2.
It was a quarter when we first started doing this.
I wish we bought more.
Yeah, me too.
What does it do?
Turn a green for a 1/4 where it enters the battlefield, support 2. Whenever you put a +1/+1 counter on a creature you don't control, you draw a card. So you can just, throw the counters on some poopy creatures on the opposite side of the field, draw 2 cards.
This is an investment. You're going to play it, you're going to draw 2, and then if you need cards later with Obuun, you use his landfall and you just give it to other stuff and you just draw a bunch of cards.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise this card is just a bad divination.
It can also, in a pinch, if you don't want a divination, you just pump up your lands that you've been animating.
Yeah, that's completely fair too. Soul's Majesty. 4 and a green, draw cards equal to target creature you control's power.
We're making giant lands. We make them, attack with them, and then post-combat, draw a bunch of cards.
I do want to be clear, this is a budget card. Be very careful with it because you do have to target, and you can get 2 for 1 very easily. Be careful with this one.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Rishkar's Expertise, let's go. $7. Not a chance. Not a chance for that money. Life's Legacy, though, is a much more budget safe option. You attack, you get your damage in, you got a 6/6 or something, and then post combat you just sack your land for 2 mana, draw 6 cards. Okay.
Yeah, Life's Legacy is much safer. Stay on the safe side, my friends.
Definitely. Now we got removal. So we cut Struggle to Survive, Ground Assault, Condemn, Condemn, Banishing Light, Acidic Slime, and Hour of Revelation, which is just fine. Replacing them with Acidic Slime, 1 for 1 Rex Sage. I want everyone to go do that right now.
Yeah, saving 2 mana, the land is it's never relevant enough. I mean, some people we've had people argue in the comments because they always argue in the comments about this, but just get your Rex Sages in there. So much better, so much cheaper, so much more mana efficient.
Definitely. Chaos Warp. You want to, Struggle to Survive. Struggles 2 in a red to deal a bunch of damage to a creature. Chaos Warp is shuffle a permanent into their library. There's no getting around that.
This breaks the color pie.
Oh my god. What else?
Dismantling Wave. For each opponent, you can destroy a artifact or enchantment, or if you cycle it for 1 million mana, which is great to have because it is. You can destroy all artifacts and enchantment. Don't you roll your eyes at me.
Kind of just descended into madness at the end of that sentence.
You
You wrapped it up with a chef's kiss. Nature's Claim, Commander Staple, Nitpicking Nerds Hall of Fame. Absolutely cheap, efficient. Also, the green Swords to Plowshares.
Kenrith Transformation, becoming one of BZ's favorite cards slowly. One of the green, a creature becomes a 3/3. Draw a card. So you get to take the biggest card in the field, turn it into this worthless little 3/3 elk, and draw a card. So you haven't even spent a resource to turn the best card in the field into a 3/3 elk.
Yeah, I was thinking we need one more budget card. What has been good for me lately that we could slot in for like less than $1? Kenrith's Transformation has been awesome. It doesn't even cost you a card. It's no synergy, but it's not like Chaos Warp has synergy with this deck.
Yeah. Also, side note, people just, I had somebody earlier today, literally playing, put a Kenrith Transformation on my Scavenging Ooze that had 4 counters on it, and there was no creatures left in graveyard. So it's just like he pumped its power by 1. Thanks.
Just increased its power. That's great. And then lastly, Hour of Revelation's fine, but Tragic Arrogance, that's the sweet spot.
Okay. Other podcasts and other channels are now trying to tell us that Tragic Arrogance is underrated. We've been saying this for years.
Get a time machine. Go back to like the first 5 Nitpicking Nerds episodes with Tragic Arrogance all in their white decks.
Yeah, you want to fight us?
You tell me what's underrated.
I don't care if you got more subscribers. Bring it on.
They probably don't. We're super famous. Yeah, Tragic Arrogance is amazing. We've talked about this a million times. Choose your best stuff. Choose their worst stuff. You're going to win if they don't come back from it. They're now totally on the defensive and you're pure offense. We have one creature we care about.
Nitpicking Nerds staple. We said it first. No one else gets to say what we say. No one can have the same opinion as us.
We do have a monopoly on our opinions.
Exactly.
And it's not restricted to time. So if we have an opinion that you have later, we still get priority.
Exactly. We always have priority.
We'll get disclaimer guy. We'll sick disclaimer guy on you. He'll take you down. Now we're going to improve the lands. This is actually kind of important. This is a lands matters-ish deck. We got a bunch of landfall triggers. We cut some goodies, actually. I cut Cryptic Caves. Okay, that wasn't a goodie. I cut Celestia's Sanctuary, Gruul Turf, Boros Garrison. I was going to leave one, but I had so many lands that I wanted to add. Didn't leave any. Celestia Guildgate, Boros Guildgate, Gruul Guildgate. They're tapped dual fixers. They fix your mana, but not as good as Rampant Growth, Sky Shroud Claim, Cultivate, Kodama's Reach. So we don't need them. Cut 3 forests, cut 3 plains. What do we add?
We added Cinderglade, which is the battle land that comes in untapped if you control 2 basics, green-red. Same thing with Canopy Vista, except for it is green-white.
And they have types.
And they have types, and they both have the type forest for things like Nissa, where it matters. Scattergrove, Shelter Thicket, they also have types. These
forests.
Yeah, and I really wish they would finish these cycles for the enemy colors.
They never will.
But these ones cycle.
Yes.
Exotic Orchard can make any type of land
that your opponents can make.
Yeah, I thought so. It was weird in my head. I don't know why I was stuttering with it.
It's a guaranteed untapped duel at worst.
Yeah, exactly. Tectonic Edge. We needed some land removal. Tectonic Edge is what we went with.
Yeah, because we cut stupid acidic slime, but now we've got a free roll way to kill lands, and it's not going to waste our mana every game. And the last little juicy nugget, we're animating manlands, creature lands. That's the other way that we're going to use Obuun's landfall. We're going to throw an animated one of our lands, like even just tap it, and then just put a bunch of stuff on it. And then next turn untap with it and smash.
Smash. BZ smash.
What creature lands do we have?
Storing Wildwood, which is the green-white one, becomes a 3/4 with reach. Doesn't ever matter that has reach. Treetop Villagers animates for 2 mana, and it's a 3/3 with trample. This next one is in the manland, but
nope.
it certainly is a very good card. It's Keswick Wolf Run. You can use it to pump up your creatures big and strong, give them trample. This is how you one-shot people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this card is very good.
Throw 10 mana into it. You didn't spend a card. Someone just took 10 damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Great card. Blinkmoth Nexus animates into a 1/1 little flyer duder.
Remember when Blinkmoth Nexus was $10?
Wait. How much is Blinkmoth Nexus?
$1.
Whoa.
That's this episode's like, what? Double Masters made this card $1?
I don't think Double Masters just made this card $1. The fact that also
Mox Opal?
Yeah, Mox Opal being gone also probably had a huge effect on this card being $1 as
Definitely,
well.
but yeah, Blinkmoth has flying. So if we throw a bunch of stuff on it, if we awaken the V2 Gaziet, now it's a 10/10 with flying. We can start stacking all this crap on it.
Quick, wake up the V2 Blinkmoth Nexus, come on.
Wait, but that's not V2 Gazi. No, it is now. That's how it's always been.
It's always been to V2
It's on a different plane. I don't know.
Yeah, none of this nothing that is happening makes any sense.
Well, if you want to get even weirder, you can Nissa Worldwaker it, then awaken the V2 Gaziet.
After it's already awake?
Well, you have to awaken the V2 Gaziet first, and then you can Nissa Worldwaker it, and then you can animate it, and it's just like a 15/15 or a 14/14. absolute nonsense. But there's other stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just
one main punch packer that we didn't mention because it's already in the deck is Blackblade Reforged. You can just throw it on these punch packer. Yeah, does that sound like it's something else?
Punch packer is not something that packs a punch.
Yes, something else that packs a punch is Blackblade Reforged. It's already in the deck, but especially with cute stuff like Awaken the V2 it makes it a legendary land. So you can equip for 3, and now this thing's like a 20/20. And just completely destroy somebody with it.
Oh, yeah, that's big. That's a big fat fatty. They put Blackblade Reforged. I like that card. That card's really cool.
It's really good in this deck. Other ones, Nesting Grounds. This is not a man land, but you can move counters for just 1 mana from other creatures onto this. So if you want to change and start growing your creature lands without risking them or wasting mana to activate them, you just move them slowly.
Okay.
For 1 mana a turn. And Crawling Barrens is the new one from Zendikar Rising. You just pay 4 mana to start putting 2 counters on it at a time.
Yeah, this is a cool card. I really like and love the idea of like experimenting with the card because that card seems really cool to me.
Yeah, where you don't have to animate it. You just grow it and say, now it's a 10/10. Deal with it.
Yeah, mana sink. Like, again, okay, I had 2 extra mana left at the end of this turn. Put counters on my guy.
Right. That's what we're going to be. We're going to be secretly fiddling. Well, not secretly. It's all information with that is public. But we're going to be fiddling with our lands in addition to developing our board state. And then we're just going to crack in with this crazy stuff. Sylvan Advocate's in this deck, too. I could not cut that. That's so cool.
I like the idea of it being secret. Look over there! 2 counters.
Put 2 counters on my Treetop Village. You saw nothing. Ignore everything else. What's the budget? $50. We spent $49.27, obviously. This deck is going to appear in the description link when you click on it. It's not going to be $49.27. It's going to be some other price, whether it be cards fluctuating, TCG player putting in Jumpstart basics for no reason in the deck list. But you can realistically buy all of this for $49-ish.
Yeah, $49-ish. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and guarantee things because prices fluctuate so much. But as of the recording of this video, that was the number we saw, and that's the number we're giving to you.
We built this deck, and it was $49. Obviously, things changed. Original CMC, 4.06. Not for the nitpicking nerds. New CMC, 3.53.
That's a whole 0.5 down. That is really good.
And if I had $5 extra, I could probably take it down even more. We left in some pricey stuff. This deck had like 10 6-drops in it for some reason.
Obviously, because we're a ramp deck that didn't have a lot of ramp in it.
Yeah, so 39 changes. That's the upper echelon of changes we'll do. We changed pretty much the maximum we could for $50.
Echelon.
Yeah.
I just like the word.
Okay.
Yeah. 39 changes. Yeah, we're not going to change much more than that. But that's the end of the video.
I hope you liked it. This deck is sweet. We're doing some really crazy stuff.
Yeah. And if you like us and maybe even love us, you can head over to patreon.com. And with all these people on these cards right here, special shout out to all of them because I did it in a weird order. And I missed my all. I had to do it.
Well, no one's watching. They all clicked off.
They all clicked off. If you want to be on this scrolling card, patreon.com. There's a link in the description below. Click on it. Go over there. Get some awesome perks. And if you're a patron by the end of September, that's this month, then you'll be entered to win a Vidochinori. I almost forgot what it was.
Yeah, well, it's already given that the deck list is in the description. You know us by now. But did you know that we have merch now? You can go buy merch in the description too, so go do that.
Yes, merch.
Yes.
And if you can't get enough of me, and sometimes never busy.
I'm usually not there.
Never. Then you can head to twitch.com, and I stream weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or Saturday night drunk streams.
Oh, boy. Can you say that on YouTube? Too hot for TV. What's our tidbit?
That was like, what? A tidbit? I don't know. I don't know if have we mentioned this on the channel? We're working on a project that we've codenamed Apple Pie.
Yeah, we have mentioned this like 10 times. Why do you think it's codenamed?
I codenamed it Apple Pie. I just randomly named it Apple Pie.
Good for you.
It actually, you said we needed, so this works.
I said we needed a code name.
You said we need a code name. Somebody asked for a code name. I literally just, the first thing that came to my head was Apple Pie, and that works perfectly because when you do code names, you're supposed to do them starting with an A, so that your next code name could be with a B.
Oh,
did
not know that.
Magic's doing that right now. They're doing
did archery, right?
They're on like judo is like the one they're working on right now.
Well, it used to be not like that. They used to do just things that like hook, line, and sinker. But spaghetti and meatballs was my favorite.
But that is a common way to do them. Is like if you use lots of code names, you start with and you pick a like something that links them together. So if we'd be apple pie, it'd be all desserts.
What's B?
Blueberry cheesecake.
Cheesecake is C. Why would you take blueberry? Why would you take 2 desserts in one letter?
Shut up.
Like blueberry truffle or something. Like you could say.
Ew. A truffle is not
blueberry crepe. because we're not going to use crepe for C.
Yeah, blueberry crepe. Get ready.
That's our next project. We don't even know what that one is
So
yet.
everyone get ready for apple pie coming out hopefully in a month. I know, I like talking about it because it's so exciting. I work on it like pretty much daily.
Yeah, if you're a patron and you're one of the people who supports us financially and you're awesome, then you already know what it is.
Yeah, and if you don't know what it is, feel free to message us because I will give you that juicy information.
Yeah, so we're done.
Yeah, peace out, Tribe Scout.